Again, you're welcome to the atmosphere of simple gospel truth. Today, I want to talk about the first sin outside Eden. The first sin outside Eden. Let's go to the Word of God as we read the book of Genesis chapter 4. I will take my reading from verse 2 to verse 8. We want to look at the first sin outside the Eden garden. Later, Eve gave birth to his brother Abel, and Abel kept flocks, and Cain worked the soil. In the course of time, Cain brought some of the fruits of the soil as an offering to the Lord. And Abel also brought an offering, fat portions from some of the firstborn of his flock. The Lord looked with favor on Abel and his offering, but on Cain and his offering he did not look with favor. So Cain was very angry, and his face was downcast. The Lord said to Cain, "Why are you angry? Why is your face downcast? If you do what is right, will you not be accepted? But if you do not do what is right, sin is crouching at your door. It desires to have you, but you must rule over it." Now Cain said to his brother Abel, "Let's go out to the field." While they were in the field, Cain attacked his brother Abel and killed him. This is so pathetic that right after the falling of man in the Garden of Eden and sin entered into the world, we see a brother killing a brother. Why? How? This is just what we want to consider. And before we go too far, those days when I was in the kindergarten, in Sunday school classes in the church, we were told that when God called these brothers to offer sacrifices to him, Abel and Cain. Permit me to use Abel because of people in other parts of the world where they are listening to this message. In the Western world here, they will call Abel. But if I'm just saying Abel, many people will not understand me on time. Let me say Abel as for Abel and Cain. And so we were told those days that it was because Abel brought a very good offering unto the Lord, and Cain brought a bad offering to the Lord. And that was why Abel's offering was accepted by God, and Cain was not accepted. But it's beyond this. In the book of 1 John chapter 3 verse 18, the word of God says, "Do not be like Cain, who belonged to the evil one and murdered his brother." Cain belonged to the evil one, and he murdered his brother. And why did he murder him? Because his own actions were evil and his brothers were righteous. When you look at where we read, the word of God make it plain. Verse 5, "But on Cain and his offering, God did not look with favor." On Cain and his offering. So not just because of the fatness or not fatness of the offering, but Cain himself has a bad mind, a bad heart, an evil heart that belongs to the wicked one. And now, what is the first sin outside Eden? It might surprise you to hear that the first sin outside Eden was not murder. The first sin outside Eden garden was jealousy. Because it was this jealousy that led to the sin of murder. And what is jealousy? There are four words that look very close to each other, but they have a degree of differences. Jealous, envy, covetousness, and greediness. They look a little bit alike, but they are different. To be jealous is to become angry. To be jealous is to become hostile. To be jealous is to become moody. or unhappy toward one, the gift, the progress, and the achievement of your fellow brothers or your fellow sister. And all because you fail to look inward and see the goodness of God in your own life and appreciate the gift of God in your own life. Again, to be jealous is to be sad, to be angry, to be hostile, to be unhappy, to be moody toward the gift of your fellow brother or sister, toward his or her progress in life, and towards his achievement, all because you fail to look inward to give time to God for your own life and what God has deposited in you. And I want you to know that you do not need to allow this demonic spirit of jealousy toward your fellow brothers or sisters to becloud your heart, to becloud your life, to becloud your spirit. A jealous man is a wicked man. A jealous man is a man of evil. And this is the root of hatred. You need to be very careful, because a lot of people have been ruined because of the spirit of jealousy. You remember the story of Joseph and his brother? It was as a result of jealousy. You remember the story between David and Saul? It was the spirit of jealousy. And when a man is possessed with this spirit, it can lead you into killing your fellow brothers. Joseph's brother did all they could to kill him, just like Cain killed Abel. And you remember that severally Saul ran after David more than 7 times, wanted to kill him just because of jealousy. And what is the way out of jealousy? Number one, you need to look inward to what God deposited in you. You have your own gift with God specially designed for you, and you are different from others. Instead of looking into others to envy them or to allow jealousy, look inward into what God has deposited in your life. Number 2 thing, contentment. Be contented with God, what God has given unto you. Be satisfied with yourself and with what you have. And number 3 thing as a way out of the spirit of jealousy is wait patiently for your own time and season. Wait for your time and your season. God has never forgotten you, and He has a plan for you. Let's look at the siblings of jealousy. Number 1, envy. And what is envy? Envy, when you are possessed with the spirit of envy, you want things to turn sour. You want things to turn bitter and bad for someone who is happy or someone who is making progress. You always want evil to befall another person who is blessed or happy. So in your heart and in your thinking, you need to stop wishing evil to your fellow brothers or sisters, either in your heart or in your mouth. When you are beclouded with envy, you always want evil things to happen to your fellow brothers and sisters. The second sibling of jealousy is covetousness. And this is, you desperately want what belongs to others for yourself in a malicious way, instead of waiting for your time. As well, be satisfied with what God has given unto you. You don't need to covet anyone. Remember, in the Decalogue, thou shalt not covet your brothers, sister, your neighbors, wife, property, and so on and so forth. Do not allow the spirit of covetousness to becloud your heart. And the last in this tree is the sin of greediness. And you know, greediness goes ahead in a higher dimension. And to be greedy is that you want what belongs to many people for yourself alone. Don't ruin yourself. And this has destroyed a lot of political leaders. Greediness. These 4 are the root of hatred and bitterness. And each one of these If you are not very careful, if it take hold, lay hold on your spirit and soul, it can destroy and sink your life and sink your destiny. Never forget again, the first thing outside the Eden Garden is the sin of jealousy. And never allow jealousy to ruin your life. God bless you. Till I see you again in the next teaching. Bye for now.